body recomposition and fitness. So I want to share with you what I'm focusing on fitness wise, what has been able to help me, if anything, if maybe this will help some other people out there who also want to have a change in their physique. So the main goal is called body recomposition. And for people who don't know what that is, body recomposition is when you're not focusing on losing weight, you're focusing on burning fat, but gaining muscle at the same time. So in theory, you can actually become more fit and gain weight when you're doing this. So typically people in this position try to maintain their weight. That's, usually what ends up happening, but it's not a surprise that some people, when they're on the goal to body recomp, actually gain like 5 pounds of muscle. But it could swing either way. You could like lose 5 pounds, gain 5 pounds, but you know what I'm getting at. This isn't about losing a ton of weight and being skinny. This is about just transforming your body from fat to muscular. With that being said, the reason I chose to make body recomp as my focus right now is because I kind of did it by accident. Going back to what I was saying before, because this entire year I was going through periods of hard work in the gym and then depression, and then hard work in the gym again, and then depression, and then it was like kind of like swinging back and forth. I was kind of accidentally bulking and cutting, like just by, like it wasn't planned. It was just accidental because of my mental health. So I was like going hard and like working out my muscles and lifting heavy, and eating everything I could, and then just like staying in bed and like not doing anything. And a lot of the times when I was not doing anything, there were weeks where I didn't have the energy to cook. So I was like essentially like starving myself. So after doing this like bulk and cut by accident over a year, I noticed this year, since the weather started getting warm, I pulled out some of my old spring clothes and I started trying them on. And I noticed that none of them fit me anymore. Like they were all too tight on me. Like, you know what I mean? And I was so confused because I was looking in the mirror and I'm like, I don't like look that big. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't look like I gained a bunch of weight. I did gain weight on the scale, but because I was becoming more muscular, it didn't, like I was happy with my physical appearance. And I was like, I tried on a pair of pants and it was like a size like 2 or 4 or something like that. And I couldn't even get them up my legs. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I had to get rid of a bunch of like my old shorts and like skirts and pants and stuff like that. And I started looking at some older clothes in my closet from like years ago and trying them on. And I noticed the only pants and skirts that were able to fit me were ones that were like size 8 or 10, which like blew my fucking mind, because I'm like, how the hell did I go from a size 2 to a size like 8 or 10 over the course of just like 6 months to a year? It's fucking crazy to me. I was like, holy shit, like I've put on a lot of weight, you know what I mean? But the thing that was weird to me is that when I looked in the mirror, and maybe I'll insert some videos like or some pictures so you guys can see what I'm talking about, I didn't feel like I looked that bad. Like I was like, I didn't think going up like 6 or whatever, how many dress sizes that was or pant sizes would look like this. Like, you know what I mean? Like either I was way too skinny before or I'm putting on muscle or something's going on. So I made an Instagram story about it. And one of my friends who's a pro lifter explained it to me. She's like, oh, you did body recomp. And I'm like, what? I didn't even know what it was. I was like, what the fuck is body recomp? And she's like, body recomp is when you gain weight, but it's mostly you either maintain or you gain weight, but it's muscle and not fat. And that's why you're happy with your physique, even though you've gone up so many sizes. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. You know what I mean? So I started looking into it and I started doing my research, and I found out that that's like a whole nother avenue you could take with fitness. Is there's like, you know, there's different physiques as a woman or even a man that you can attain. Like there's like the thin, you know, yoga body type of physique. There's so many different possible fitness goals. Like not every, you can bulk up and be like a Hulk, or you can like really slim down and be really cut. There's so many different things you could do. You can have like more of a Pilates body where you have like, you're very strong, but you're like super thin and lean. But for me, I kind of, because I already started doing this accidentally, I was like, I was like, I've never really tried to do this before. Maybe I should just kind of like make this my new goal. And I'll explain why. One of the reasons why I wanted to make this my goal was because in the past, and I'd shared this on this channel before, I had struggled with an eating disorder, where my fitness goal was to be very thin. And I became so obsessed with it that I lost entirely too much weight. And maintaining a thin weight like that, like even if it's not even if it's not an eating disorder, like even if it's like 120 pounds or like 115, 20 pounds, because you can be a healthy woman at 115, 120 pounds, depending on what your frame is. So forget about the eating disorder, just like as a normal person. So, this is relatable to anybody. You can be healthy at 115, 20 pounds. But what I found was that anytime I'd ever tried to attain that weight as my body goal, I was fucking hungry all the time. Like I was starving all the time. So it's like, are you really that healthy in that case if you're mentally unwell or if you're grumpy all the time because you don't feel satisfied? So one of the reasons I really like this transition into body recomp is because you actually focus on eating more to build muscle, which I really like. Because I don't have to worry about being hungry. You know what I mean? With that being said, there are some negative ends of that as well, because now the other thing is, rather than being hungry, you now have to like focus on, are you eating enough? Like, so there'll be times of the day where you don't have time to eat and you're like, fuck, I got to go eat. You know what I mean? Which is, if I weigh out the pros and cons of that, I would much rather have that be the problem, where like I have to force myself to eat. Because being hungry all the time to attain a thin figure is just not fun. It's a miserable way to be. So that was one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this. So I wanted to share with you guys some tips I learned about how to body recomp in case anybody else wants to do that for themselves.